Now, in the past hour, a 24-year-old man has been arrested after remains were found in 2 suitcases in Bristol and a flat in West London.
Yeah, so there had been a manhunt in the wake of the discovery of body parts, but police are now not looking for anyone else in connection with the incident.
Well, investigators believe that the remains found at an address in Shepherd's Bush are linked to those found in 2 suitcases dumped near Clifton Suspension Bridge on Wednesday.
OK, we're joined now by former Scotland Yard detective Peter Bleksley. Good morning, Peter. Thanks for joining us this morning. What do we know about the facts of this case as of this morning?
Well, to experienced observers of crime and policing matters, it was only a matter of time before arrests were going to be made. Because in the modern age, major crimes are solved through, generally speaking, one or a combination of 3 things. Number 1, CCTV. Number 2, forensic evidence. And number 3, mobile phone records. And right from the very early stages of this case, we knew there was substantial CCTV and there would, of course, be substantial forensic evidence. So this arrest was simply a matter of time. And I think we should spare a moment for those detectives, excuse me, who will have been strangers to their beds in the last few days, who will have worked tirelessly round the clock to ensure that an arrest has been made.
Yes, rightly said, Peter. Those detectives working so quickly to arrest that suspect. And you also want to think about the families as well, don't you, in this? And the families of all the cases that we've been covering this week. It has been a particularly dark week, hasn't it, Peter? We've got these bodies found in suitcases, those 3 women killed in a crossbow attack this week, a newborn baby yesterday found dead in a bin. It does feel like you despair for the state of our world.
And a man shot dead in Peckham in southeast London this week, other murders. And you are right, and I thank you so much for mentioning victims' families. People this week who have been so deeply traumatised and will bear the emotional scars for the rest of their lives because of what has happened to their loved ones. And deep within this malaise of bloodshed and hurt, I fear, is men committing acts of violence. And we have a problem with men. Now, I'm not saying, of course, all men. That would be, quite frankly, ludicrous. But if we look potentially back on these cases, some months when they have been solved, and other cases, aside from this week, there is a plague of violence being committed by men. And quite frankly, we need to come together to address this because there is too much hurt, too much bloodshed and too much murder.
Yes, Peter, of course, we had the horrific details of Holly Willoughby's kidnap, rape and torture case. Gavin Plum, I mean, you know, a monster. I mean, you can't describe him in any other way. What is it about men and the culture at the moment which you think is concerning? Is it social media? Is it a lack of guidance from role models? Is it a lack of fathers in the household? What's your take on it?
I think it could be a combination of all those things. And it may be a lowering, generally speaking, of standards, which my mother held me to when I was a young man. Boys are being born who are turning into boys who are becoming monsters when they are men. Something needs to break that chain. There is far too much violence, abuse, and dreadful acts going on against women. And I come across young women every day of the week. I bump into them during my working life, and I am endlessly being told stories of harassment on public transport, harassment and assaults in the street, and worse. And when I say to these women, have you reported this to the police? Unfortunately, all too often, the reply is, what's the point? Because they don't feel they will get a thorough investigation. Well, there is a point, and anybody who is subject to abuse or assault, I urge them, please, to report it to the police, because only by the police understanding the scale of the problem may they then be able to start to get a grip of the problem.
Yeah, really important message. Thank you, Peter Bleksley. Really good to see you. Thank you.